I think that there are some statistics out there that show that if indeed there was more female sport on television, more female sport content, for example, ESPN Sports Center in America, if there was more female sport presented on the flagship news program every day for mainstream sport, there would probably be more interest in those sports.
Growing up, like doing a lot of sports, like I always had this perception, this impression that women were this like lesser version of the man, and the holy grail was having a male body basically, and women like were moody and bitchy and complicated, and losing your period was actually great because it's an annoying thing, whereas like amenorrhea, when you lose your period, means you're unhealthy. As an athlete, it's like early signs of low energy availability, but in the training world, that's not a perception. So like we're doing a lot of work around changing the perception of women themselves, but also like what women have on what the perception of men on women as well. So working with coaches and with athletes. So what is your take on that? It was like a word of like for athletes now that are like professionals, not professionals, but who also still think that their body is like basically unreliable, annoying, because the perception is that it's annoying, whereas actually we have this incredible machine that is like fine-tuned like a clock. Like every single month we have like this performance, like really high we can hit, and then we have ingrained in your body this like restore time and like and back up. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I mean, just having listened to you explain it in that way is very different from, you know, any way that I've ever heard the female body and, you know, performance around, you know, female athletes and how they look at a monthly cycle and how it affects them and what it means. I've never heard it explained that way. And I think it's about changing the conversation, because we're, you know, it's defiance a little bit, you know, in a way, in that you're working against decades and decades, if not centuries, understanding, you know, female versus male in one way that has always dominated, and it's time to change the conversation. That's going to be very difficult to do, but it'll take time, and you know, but I think that continuing to get that message out there to not only coaches but also the athletes themselves, both male athletes and female athletes, to get that message out there and to just continue to hammer that home so that it continues from a repetitive standpoint to change that perspective.